Day.
What is going on, everybody? Jon Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS Playbook live show. It is Friday. It is a Luka free Friday here on the Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS Playbook show here today. 6-game main slate on tap over on DraftKings and FanDuel. No Luka Doncic, no Devin Booker here this evening. Probably some more ruled out soon to come. James, you did the playbook today, my friend. It's Listener League Friday as well.
Sure is. It sure is.
How are we doing?
Doing great, John. Happy freaking Friday. Yeah. That's first and foremost. That is the primary messaging here. It is Friday. We're ready to go. I feel locked into this slate. I feel really good about it tonight.
As someone who did the playbook.
Yes, it's a fair point.
If you said I don't know, I'd be a little concerned.
No, I know, but usually, we get news come through the wire, and you're like, "Holy cow, this is overwhelming!" Right?
Yeah.
And shout out Faisal, happy Friday, brother. I hope your California weather treating you well out there on this fine Friday. There's been a lot of significant news, John. Luka out, Devin Booker out, Wembanyama out, Julius Randle midday downgrade out. Embiid is a game time decision. He did travel with the team, so he's going to test it out pregame for the illness. I don't love to see Keldon, even though he's probable on a Spurs injury report. That's something to monitor as we get closer. Albert showing up on time today. Albert, what's going on? Mark, I see you, dog. I see you right there, Mark. Right there.
Mark, give us some hockey plays for today in the chat while we talk about some NBA plays.
Yeah, we should bring Mark on, and while we talk about NBA, he is just talking NHL. Yeah, that'd be
over under 5 shots tonight for Jack Hughes. You let me know what you think.
Yes, over for sure. I'm a hockey tout.
The Prince here. Sup, the Prince?
New photo. If you see this in the YouTube chat, new photo for the Prince. He had the motorcycle rocking for a long time. New photo. Hopefully,
I was also saying we just plug in Kyrie and Durant here.
Yeah, that's
the show. Everybody, we'll see you guys on Monday.
Thank you for that.
Plug in Kyrie and Durant and go from there. And Mark says always over on Jack Hughes shot times.
Okay.
100%.
Unders are boring. All right. Unders are boring. So
true.
It is,
I agree. It is Listener League Day today. We do have the Listener League link in the description of the show today, I think. If not, it's at least in the comment section of our preview show. It's in the playbook as well. The link to the Listener League's in the playbook. If we get 25? If we get 25 people to join tonight's Listener League, James Grande out of his own wallet is going to buy somebody a Fantasy Alarm hat. Yep. Maybe this Fantasy Alarm hat, or maybe the one that he is wearing. I don't really know which one.
Or the dad. There's also a dad hat that I posted.
There is a white dad hat as well. If you want to purchase that one, by all means. But you can go ahead there and have an opportunity to get yourself, win yourself a Fantasy Alarm hat tonight simply by entering tonight's $5 DraftKings contest and winning. So, there you go from there. Any other comments before we just kick off this party here, James?
No, it isn't. It was, you were definitely right questioning if the link was in the description. It was in the description of the podcast this morning of the preview show. It is now in the live stream description. So if you're watching on YouTube, a little refresh, it'll be there. But I'll also drop it right here in the chat for all those that are watching. If you want to get in there, $5. There's the Listener League right.
We get no money for this, by the way. We just run this contest to have some fun with you guys. So you don't have to even worry about it. We got double tapping there from the Listener League.
Oh, you know what? I didn't change the didn't change the channel. So you know what? That's my bad. That's on me. All of this is on me. But again, it's not going to be a problem because we're going to all win tonight.
How does the Listener League work, Prince? You enter it and then you win.
Yep.
It's just $5 on DraftKings. I know you play on FanDuel, Prince, but this is a DraftKings league. Sorry, that's where we're at.
Yep.
If you enter the $5 DraftKings league and you win tonight, you get a hat along with whatever the prize money's in there. Again, we get no money from this from DraftKings. We just host a contest to have some fun with you guys on a Friday for supporting the work that we do and stopping by here. So join tonight's listener league. I came in dead last week, but I did come in second the week before that. So
Let's see, John.
Coming back for my money there. Headlines for today: outside of Luka being ruled out and Devin Booker being ruled out, what else are we looking for here today, James?
So Victor, obviously, he was ruled out as well. The Julius Randle midday downgrade, not great. Keldon Johnson injury report designation, not great. I know that's probable, but still, pop on a back-to-back. That's the headline right there. Spurs, what they do on a back-to-back. Last back-to-back, and I put this in the playbook, he played 10 guys, at least 10 minutes. There were 3 starters that played 30 minutes. Zach Collins probably would have played 30 minutes if not for foul trouble, but it is worth mentioning there was a 10-man rotation on the second leg of a back-to-back. This is also a fully healthy Pelicans team. We think Trey Murphy is officially listed questionable, but all signs are pointing to him returning. So, 40% three-point shooter, just spacing the floor even more for the Pelicans.
Right.
13.5-point spread in that game. So, it is worth noting that game might not be competitive for very long. Spurs, Knicks on back-to-backs. And again, the Julius Randle downgrade might be direct correlation to the back-to-back here for the Knicks. Denver, a lot of just unknown with Denver, what Jamal Murray and Aaron Gordon are going to do. Mm-hmm. Gordon's missed 3 straight. There's no morning shoot-around reports. Jamal Murray tweaked his ankle after returning from a hamstring injury, so that's not great, Bob. Other storylines, nothing really. I mean, Washington or Orlando running it right back again. Jonathan Isaac's playing in that game, John. So I know don't get too excited. But then Dallas,
I'll probably play some Jonathan Isaac tonight.
You probably will. But I think Dallas is just the biggest what we're doing tonight because if Tim Hardaway is ruled out, the floodgates are going to open up even more because they're going to be really popular. Mm-hmm. Kyrie Irving, Josh Green, one Jaden the Bucket Maker Hardy, Derek Lively, Tim Hardaway himself, Derek Jones, they're all extremely popular tonight. That game that opened at 10-point spread, I told you I liked it last night, is now 6.5 and even more competitive. So it's going to be a really interesting slate tonight. And I'm excited to break it down. Of course, John, 5 games kicking off from 7 to 8. And then old number 6 kicking off 2 hours later at 10 p.m. when we don't know the status of multiple Denver Nuggets. Right. We did during the show get that Jokic note though. I think he was ruled out during the show last week when he was ruled out, and we got the DeAndre Jordan and Reggie Jackson, Scotty and Michael game. So we'll see if Denver gets out their injury report nice and early to us. But I'm ready to break this down and dominate for everybody. Unfortunately, for everyone, they're going to come in second in the listener league tonight because I'm taking that ish down.
Yeah. I mean, well, we'll see. We'll see what happens there. The point guard position, if Embiid is ruled out tonight, do you go Maxey or Kyrie here at 94-91?
Kyrie. I'm not moving that. Okay. If I'm picking between the two, I'm not moving off. Would I play them both? I would, but I still rank Kyrie higher. It's a better matchup. Would the 76ers, who couldn't really stay all that competitive without Embiid against the Pelicans, I know it was a 10-point game and all that, but there was no need for Tyrese Maxey to play 38 minutes in that game.
Right.
Would they stay competitive against basically a healthy Boston team in Boston? I'm not saying they couldn't. I'm just also saying much less unlikely. Now, positive regression on the horizon for Maxey in that case from 4 rebounds and assists. That's just seemingly unlikely again. So if you want to get to Maxey 94, but Kyrie's $9,100, and there's a great matchup, 30% usage rate, 1.4 fantasy points a minute this year without Luka. Last year, same exact usage rate, 1.3 fantasy points per minute. So it's been like pretty even throughout. Like we're gonna get a probably 50 plus fantasy point performance from Kyrie Irving if this game is like a competitive one.
Sure.
And that's kind of where my lineups are starting is. But so I'm not going to move off Kyrie to go to Maxey if that news breaks. I would play them both.
All right. Say this happens. Julius Randle.
I knew it because I mean it's just natural progression. So like
he's cheaper, and we just got 66 from him. So.
Yeah, he has quite a ceiling. So I was looking into this earlier, and there's not a big sample this year with no Julius Randle, right? Because Julius Randle's played every game. He plays 40 minutes a night. It's like the numbers are pretty bad for everybody across the board. Like Jalen Brunson's under a fantasy point per minute in the minutes he's spent without Julius Randle this year, which is like you would think like, oh, naturally this guy is going to dominate the ball and he's going to have all these fantasy points. But Julius Randle does a lot for this team, whether or not he's efficient, whether or not people want to give him his flowers or not. I heard a debate, is Julius Randle a top 5 Knick from the decade? And like, yeah, he is. As unfortunate as people don't want to hear that, but he's just like.
I was trying to pull some really bad random Knick, but I couldn't think of one off the top of my head.
Couldn't think of Landry Fields.
Yeah, that's what it was too. Swear to God, 100%. That was the guy I was trying to come up with. Yeah,
the Atlanta Hawk GM, by the way. Landry Fields. Yeah,
that was exactly the guy I was trying to pull from.
Let's go. See, well, that's just us being working together. But
10 years together, exactly.
But so last year, Jalen Brunson 1.3 fantasy points per minute. And a 31% usage rate over a massive sample, 320-minute sample compared to this year, right? Basically the same Knicks team, not a lot of like pieces that are fluid. I mean, Dante DiVincenzo is like the only player that they really added this offseason. So like, yeah, now, again, feels like a situation where I'm still leading Kyrie. The Knicks are on a back-to-back without Julius Randle in Toronto. Another situation where I would play both of them. Like you could just play both. How I would rank them. If all of Batman are out, right? Luka, Julius Randle, Kyrie, Brunson, Maxey. That would be how I would rank them. Kyrie is first with a bullet for me tonight. I'm eating the ownership too. Like maybe if Embiid's out and if Randle's out, that will kind of lessen the blow on Kyrie, but I'm playing Kyrie with a bullet, and then I would rank them Brunson, Maxey if both guys were ruled out.
All right. We had a question in chat from Albert. Thoughts on Cole Anthony here tonight? Cole Anthony obviously having just out of body experience these last couple of games for him here, but another just fantastic matchup going up against the lowly Washington Wizards. I mean, he's been really good this year. Obviously stepped his game up to another level these last 2 games, but at 7K now, are you interested?
I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm not like he didn't make my core plays today. He made my player pool. Because I do think the 7K price makes you think. I do think there's really good point guard value today. And you just mentioned 3 guys above him that potentially have like consistent floor ceilings that are probably higher than Cole Anthony. I mean, in a game where he closed, John, and played the final 15 minutes where I was like, oh, he only played 26 minutes. He must have lost time in blowout. No, he played the final 15 minutes of the game. He didn't lose any time in blowout. That randomly happens to Cole Anthony in this rotation where he does go from 29, 32 to 26 minutes, right? And they extended Anthony Black a little bit in the second half in a less than 10-point lead. Like it wasn't because that was a blowout early in the second half. It was competitive, and then it wasn't. So yeah, he's in my player pool. Not a core play for me this
evening. Okay. Moving our way down here. Mighty saying what's up. Has a trade question. We got a trade question. This is a DFS show, but we'll look for a seasonal fantasy question. Why not? Jokic and OG for Curry, Vuk, and Keegan. What are your thoughts there?
I feel like it is a massive advantage over the field having Nikola Jokic play for your fantasy basketball.
Okay. Yeah, I would agree with you. I would for sure take the Joker.
I would take the side of Jokic as well.
Yep, agreed. Then Hartley throwing in some hockey props for us. Over 2.5, Patrick Laney. If Mark's still in the chat, I'll get his advice on that one or not. Working our way down the point guard spot. Where's your next play? You mentioned you had some value. I would imagine if there's no Randall, we like quickly maybe a little bit here today.
Yeah. 5,800 is not like the best price. I'm not saying this because he may or may not have ruined my lineup last night at like 30% ownership, which was in hindsight.
Good.
Yeah, 2% is not good at 30% ownership, which, in hindsight, you're like, maybe not. I would say quickly is definitely in play for tournaments. Where I'm going today, John, and I said it, I tweeted it, and I was making the show cover tonight, and I was like, I'm putting Derrick Rose in the cover, and you can't stop me. And that's what I did. And I put Derrick Rose in the cover tonight, $4,900. There's no reason to think Derrick Rose is not starting tonight again for Memphis after playing 27 minutes. And I know I said this like 3 times, John. I said, well, Derrick Rose could have played more, right? I've said that for three consecutive slates. And then we get 27 minutes. And I know I'm really pushing it here because it's Derrick Rose and his less than stellar kneecaps. He could have played more in that Utah game if it didn't blow out in like the middle of the fourth. And then Utah made a run where they had to put Derrick Rose back in for like the final 2 minutes. He lost out on 3 minutes in the fourth quarter. So it could have been a 30-minute output. I like Derrick Rose here. Has been like pretty efficient scoring the basketball during this like extended run. 8 for 9, 5 for 12, 7 for 11 for the
basketball game. So
still knows how to play basketball really well. Still finishes at the rim. Still can't shoot threes. Like nothing's changed other than like obviously a shortened role. As long as Derrick Rose is starting, perfectly fine getting there. I told you this is one of my favorite spots on the board, especially on the Memphis side. Massive pace-up spot, massively good defensive or offensive matchup against a bottom 6 defense. So love Rose. Jordan Goodwin is someone I'm taking a stand on tonight. And he's 4,800. He's not exactly even that cheap, but he's not getting a lot of ownership that I've seen. Yeah. He's been in the rotation lately regardless. Now there's no Devin Booker, who has been the clear point guard, while Jordan Goodwin shifts in to play point guard alongside Booker at times. He's been really good, John. And he hasn't just been good like without Kevin Durant, or he's been really good with Kevin Durant on the floor. And he's been really good with Devin Booker and with Bradley Beal off the floor. Like every scenario that he has been on the floor this year, he's been productive from a fantasy point per minute. It's not the best spot in the world. At least it's not in Denver. They have not been as good defensively. You pointed out on this morning show, they're a little better than league average in defensive rating, but nothing like special. But he's averaging 1.06 fantasy points per minute this year with Beal and Booker off the floor. You give me that and an opportunity to approach like 30 minutes tonight. He played 29 minutes in a game that Devin Booker hit a game winner and scored all those points. Yeah. Like there's upside for Jordan Goodwin tonight. So 4,800 Jordan Goodwin.
A first round pick by the Wizards, or what was he?
I don't remember if he was a first round pick or not, but he's been a good fantasy player even during his time in Washington.
He ended up going undrafted.
Undrafted? That's cool. Well, that's even a good story. So I like using Jordan Goodwin if if you do want to kind of take a stance on the Rose thing. And then there's Mr. Bucket himself. And Jaden Hardy is going to be really, 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 really popular tonight. $3,300. We have no idea if he's starting. We have no idea even if he's going to be in the rotation. There was 2 games last year in the season, John, where Lucas sat after the Kyrie trade. And one of the games, Jaden Hardy played 21 minutes and took 20 shots.
Yes.
That's a lot of shots.
It's like Cam Thomas light a little bit.
Yeah, it is. You know what's funny? I watched the Cam Thomas episode with JJ Redick today, and then Luka was ruled out, and I was like, I was just listening to Cam Thomas basically talk about playing behind Kyrie, Harden, and Durant, and it's like, I don't know what I'm doing here. I've been a bucket getter my whole life, and now I'm not playing. Like this feels like Jaden Hardy. exactly like Jaden Hardy. Like he's playing behind Luka and Kyrie. Like what is he supposed to do? But he's a fantasy point per minute guy. He has never seen a shot he doesn't like.
I mean, I'm just looking. You just look
There's
at his game
Dante
logs here.
Exum.
19 and 15, 15 and 14, 12 and 14. He's taken a bunch of shots when he's on the floor. 18 minutes, 12 shots, 17 fantasy points here. So, yeah, I'm on full $3,300. You know, we're definitely going to roster him. You know, definitely going to be in our lineups tonight.
Yep. I think the solidification for me here is that Dante Exum is out. And if you look at Dante Exum, 15 minutes last game, 18 minutes the game before. 8 of his last 9 games, Dante Exum's played double-digit minutes. Like, Jaden Hardy now has opportunity to not only absorb some of Luka's minutes, but he also could absorb some of that, some of those Exum minutes too. And we don't know the status of Tim Hardaway as well. So all these things really bode well for Jaden Hardy. 3,300. That's another chalk play that
10 games last season where he between 20 and 29 minutes. He averaged 24 and a half minutes in those 10 games. And he also averaged 18.1 points per game. So the dude is an absolute bucket in 25 minutes. And we don't, you know, if he gets that in that range here tonight as the backup or starting 2 guard tonight, then yeah, I'm full agreement with you. Any other point guards for you? Shooting guard we go. Bane, Ingram, Brown, Poole. Any interest in these guys here?
Yeah, I love Desmond Bane tonight. I wrote him and both him and Jaren Jackson up. I love Memphis. Bane has just been super consistent for this team despite how bad they've been. He's coming off kind of a ceiling game where even in a game he goes 7 for 17 from the floor, 17, 9, 7, and 3 steals. Like that's what Desmond Bane has become. He's become a guy who can play a lot of minutes, do a lot of things, and oh, by the way, can get you like 35 when his shot's falling. So pace up spot against a bottom 6 defense in the league. Love the eligibility. Love the 1.2.
And no, Luka might actually make this game a bit more competitive. So.
Agreed. And that's also the kicker right there. It's just went from 10 and a half to 6. You can
play Cole Anthony over at shooting guard here as well, which is nice to have. Yeah, Devin Vassell possibly by himself tonight. Now they're going to continue to bring him off the bench, most likely. You know, because that's what Pop does here. It is a back-to-back, but this price tag is far too cheap for the play that Devin Vassell is. If Keldon gets out, would you play Vassell at 65?
This is the one spot that I like. They're in my player pool, but I'm not interested in like core situations. Second legs of a back-to-back. Like one of them, they were okay and competitive. It was a 12-point loss in Memphis. They also gave up 150 points to Indiana on the second leg of back-to-back. Like full strength Pelicans team, no Wemby. Sohan coming off a career, literally like the most incredibly ceiling game you're ever going to see in your life. Like probably won't happen again. I'm okay with Vassell if that's where you land. If he's in the starting lineup, I may tick up my interest.
How do you feel about Eric Gordon? Minutes are already good. Now you take away Booker.
Yeah. He didn't really see that big of any like usage bump. It really just funneled to Nurkic and to Jordan Goodwin. And the fantasy point per minute output wasn't that great, especially for a guy who's almost 6K. He's 5,300 on FanDuel. Definitely in my more so like I'd be more likely to get to him on FanDuel than I would on DraftKings. I don't love the 59. I'd rather play Grayson Allen for 5,100, who's also playing the minutes and similar fantasy point per minute production this year with both Booker and Bradley Beal out when you could save $800 when you're already basically like, okay, got Kyrie, got Kevin Durant in my lineup, right? That's like where you're starting. So it's like, like Eric Gordon and Grayson Allen this year without Booker and Beal. Eric Gordon 0.83 fantasy points per minute, Grayson Allen 0.78. Like there's not that big of a discrepancy for $800 for me where I would just rather play Gordon. Like there is a slightly better usage rate on Eric Gordon, but 20% isn't like moving the needle for me necessarily. So I I would say Gordon's fine. I'd rather play him on FanDuel. Also, Allen has better eligibility they gave Gordon the point guard eligibility versus Grayson Allen shooting guard, small forward. So I prefer Allen of the two. If you land on Eric Gordon, it's fine, but it's not my favorite player.
Where else are we looking at shooting guard here then for you?
Nothing really stands out. I mean, fortunately for us, we can play Jaden Hardy at shooting guard. I do like Jalen Suggs at 6,200. I like the minutes, like pretty consistent 28, 28, 32, 29. Jalen Suggs is a defensive wizard. Like this, no pun intended. This feels like a game that the Wizards are going to turn the ball over, and we know Jalen Suggs is in every passing lane imaginable. When the offense is paired with it, like he has a ceiling. He's safe, 6,200. You mentioned quickly earlier, that's fine. Bowers asked us in Discord earlier about Champagny, and he's only a small forward on FanDuel. And you and I had the conversation last night, and I don't think, and that was like pre-Luka being rolled out, Wemby being like we talked about Wemby, but pre-Devin Booker being officially listed out. Like there was far less news. He's 4K on FanDuel. I'd much rather play him over there than 4,900 on DraftKings.
Jalen Noel?
No. No. I mean, he did just miss all his shots.
He just missed
last game.
Literally missed everything.
But would you rather just play like for $100 cheaper? You just probably
if you get super
Hardy,
scrubby,
right?
you play both. Small forward.
And if or super scrubby, you play Seth Curry. For
what do we think? Does Seth Curry crack this lineup? You think today?
He could. He's $3,000.
If Seth Curry starts over Hardy, who do you play, Hardy or Curry?
You probably play the starter.
Played 20 minutes here against Washington at 23 fantasy points.
I would probably be the starter, but I still think Hardy has the.
It's probably ends up being like a split, I would bet. Small forward here. Where are we going?
Small forward here. We are going to nobody at the top. Franz Wagner, 7,800. I wrote this up in the playbook. Franz Wagner, super chalk. And this sometimes happens with recency bias, where Franz has been very good, no doubt. But you know who else is really good leading into that game? If they don't, there's just no scenario. Whatever. We watched the Bulls beat the Bucks outright last night. So I guess
they don't have Embiid or Maxey.
Oh my god. There's just whatever. Oof. There'd be like a Jaden Springer led team he's probable. Like I'd probably play like.
Do we go back to Queta here in the blowout scenario? It's not an in-season tournament game. They don't need Horford to play 35. Right?
We is the operative word there. Will you go back to Queta? Probably. We just got other news. What do we get here? Okay. So Franz is the chalk on DraftKings, and I find that a little interesting because Paolo has been as good, if not better, and I know he's more expensive, but that just goes to show you sometimes in DFS, we remember just the last game, and in recency bias giveth, recency bias taketh away. Everyone's pivoting to Franz. Oh, Franz, he's cheaper. He was great. Look, this exact game just happened, and he was so great. Look at the numbers. Look, John, look. Franz, best player on the team, right? It's like he has been great, but there has been a much higher ceiling. We've gotten 50 a bunch of times out of Paolo, who was dealing with an ankle injury during that game. Clearly, there was discomfort. He is probable on tonight's injury report. He's good to go. They've already come out and said, like, he's going to play. I'm playing the lesser owned of the two. So Franz is definitely in the player pool. The ownership is definitely closer on FanDuel, but I like Franz
Official
a little
word
less
from
than
Woj here.
Paolo on.
Sixers guard Tyrese Maxey has been downgraded to questionable. Team says he's feeling under the weather and will be reevaluated at the arena soon.
Okay, sure.
You want to play an under the weather
so they're going
Tyrese
to be
Maxey?
playing.
Even if he's
They're going to be playing.
active, I don't.
They're going to be playing with Patrick Beverly, Mo Bamba, Markieff Morris.
And
it's
Tobias.
going to be a mess. And Tobias. Maxey flu game. Jordan wasn't even sick. Let's be real. He wasn't even sick.
It was the bad Pizza Hut, man.
Keldon, it was something. That's what they had at the casino, I guess. $7,500 for Keldon is something. If you think that game can stay competitive, then you can definitely get to Keldon, Sands, Wemby. I mean, Toby at 69 is obviously.
Would you go RJ if there's no Randall?
I still feel like it's a little pricey. Maybe you play the whole like RJ no Randall in Toronto.
Somebody's scoring
the area
25
narrative,
here, right? Or 25 has to get
sure.
split between somebody. I did notice that Mitchell Robinson last year had a 1.3 fantasy point per minute output without Randall there. So when we get to center, maybe that's an interesting guy to look at here. Should we actually get Randall ruled out? Otherwise, I think Randall's in a great spot tonight. So, but anyways,
Sure.
more small forward talk. Where else are we looking?
I mean, obviously, if Randall is ruled out, Josh Hart is firmly in play. Measurement shooting guard, but he is definitely a better play on FanDuel. He's 4K over there. I'm probably not going to get to him at 49, especially with all this value. I've mentioned to you before that Josh Green is coming in pretty chalky. Now you also were like, well, he's not very good. And I'm not like fully disputing it. 30 minutes, $3,900, maybe no Tim Hardaway.
I'm done telling guys no good because I said that about Alexander Walker last night. He went for 50. So
he is, former first round pick. He's gonna space the floor. He's okay there. 37% from three this year. $3,900 probably starts 30 minutes. So is the field, and I don't dislike the Brandon Ingram thing. You just have to. I actually prefer the Pelican side on this game because, like, if there's one team that can score 150 points in this game, it's the Pelicans because they're playing up and pace against the Spurs, against a bad Spurs defense without Wemby, and I like Ingram more on FanDuel where he's 7,900 and a small forward, but if you want to play Ingram at 8,300 for 3 quarters potentially, then that's fine. But I'd rather, McCollum, you would expect probably plays 30 minutes tonight. They get Trey Murphy back. Zion has been a monster. Valanciunas even played 30 minutes. Like, this is the healthiest they've been. It's hard pressed to think that this game stays competitive without Wemby on a back-to-back traveling to New Orleans, which is the worry. But I'm good with Pelicans if you want to play there. And to the Daniel Jones Jr., that's a quarterback for the Giants. I don't think he has a kid yet, is old enough to play in the NBA. Derrick Jones Jr. though would be he's small forward, power forward. He's okay. He's 4K. He's 4K. It's really hard to like predict which Maverick wing is going to be in play. I would say all of them are in play. I mean, if Hardaway sits, it could literally be any of them, right? If Hardaway sits, it's any of them. I would also play Tim Hardaway if he plays.
You might want to go just play Tim Hardaway, right? The most obvious option for shots is THJ.
Yep. I would say that would be a little concerning for Hardy if Hardaway was in. Just given how many shot volume there. But I would say at small forward, like picking the right Maverick is super important.
Power forward here then. You have KD at $9,900, Tatum's 10-1, but that matchup's getting worse and less appealing. Zion 89. Again, I liked Randall. I guess we'll see if Randall suits up or not here at $8,800. Kuzma, Bankara, someone you've written up already. Siakam 81 and Triple J at 8K.
Yes, I have pretty much interest in everyone. Like Kevin Durant tops the list, obviously. Really hard not to get to Durant 99. Zion, definitely an interesting contrarian play if that game does at all stay competitive. I mean, 11 for 12 from the floor, 11 for 12 from the free throw line.
Yeah.
Pretty insane. He has been pretty insane this year with the health being on his side. Bankero is a really good GPP pivot on DraftKings. He's very chalky on FanDuel, so you're not getting away with anything over there. But I love Jaren Jackson. It's funny because like I love Jaren Jackson. I loved him the other day, and he was chalky, and now he's $600 more in a pretty good spot. When you just look at this game now that there's no Luka, Memphis has one of the biggest pace-up spots on the board. Again, they're playing a bottom defense in the league, and nobody's playing Jaren Jackson anymore. And that was before we officially had the Devin Booker news. Like ownership was in, and Booker was involved in that ownership, and that was pre Devin Booker. The Randall's definitely interesting, but I love Jaren Jackson tonight. If he's going to be low owned, he hasn't shot better than 42% in any of these 4 games. And I'm not saying he is like the most efficient shooter in the world, but he's shooting 41% from the field, 28% from 3. There's positive regression coming for Jaren Jackson in both of those categories. If we were to get a better shooting performance where we get 35 to 37 minutes out of Jackson on a night where in a pace-up spot, like there's 50 fantasy point upside. So I really like Jaren Jackson in tournaments. I'm not going there cash because I'm not a crazy person, but in tournaments I'm definitely getting
the moving our way into that mid-tier range. If Gordon is out again, do you like MPJ tonight? Where are you going from here?
Yeah, I would say if Gordon's out, you get to MPJ. If Gordon's in, you don't play either of them. Especially if Murray's back too. Like they're all just priced out at that point. I like Horford better on FanDuel. I think Horford's probably like my favorite Celtic if I'm playing any of them. I don't know if I am playing any of them, especially if there's no Maxey or maybe Peyton Pritchard. Shout out Mark if he's still here. That would probably be like literally the top Boston play. But even then, we know Missoula's still going to give starters 30 plus minutes in a blowout like he does every game, like 30 minutes. And then Peyton Pritchard plays maybe 18, 20. So if you wanted to play Horford, I like him better on FanDuel, especially with the block equity there. David Roddy, 4,700. Don't love that he only played 25 minutes. Do love that he started and made all of his shots. That's really good to see. I do think there's some room for more minutes here. He did play 20 and 27 the 2 games prior.
Yeah, we're going Kyrie here this evening.
Yeah, it's Kyrie. It's a really good spot. It's close, but like you're also saving off Kyrie,
better matchup
multi-position
to stay competitive
eligibility.
in, like all that good stuff there. So Kyrie's for sure where we're going. You mentioned Roddy with 25 minutes. Grant Williams is getting some rostership here tonight. Anybody else for you at power forward?
I mean, like of the Dallas power forwards, Grant ranks
I'm not playing
where for you?
So off my not playing either. I'm not playing Jones or Grant here.
Well, Green is also power forward on. He's small forward, power forward on.
Okay. I mean, sure. Okay. If he starts, I guess you could give Green a look, but not my favorite guy here. Center. All roads always lead to the Joker here. I did see someone on Twitter say that he's actually had some tough matchups against Nurkic. If that worries you at all?
It doesn't, because he's had tough matchups against Houston twice, and he's gone for 74-80. He's had a really tough matchup in Orlando. He went for 78.
He's apparently always gone under his rebound prop against matchups with Nurkic. So.
That's interesting. Nurkic, I looked up Nurkic versus Jokic. Nurkic has had 5+ fouls in like 5 straight meetings. He has played 30+ minutes in most of them. And spoiler, we'll get to Nurkic in a few. I do like him tonight, but I mean, with the field playing Durant, Kyrie, like you can just play one of them and pair him with Jokic, and you're like, oh wait, now I have potentially 140 points between those two guys starting in my lineup. So I mean, you can definitely be a little contrarian, like Gabriel's question. Like if you're only choosing one,
Yeah.
he might be playing Jokic to pair him, right? Like that might be a
I
route
took
that he
the
goes. So
over 2.5 first quarter assists for Jokic today with the sleeper article. So
that feels good.
feels good. I would agree with you as well. If Hardaway misses, Grant Williams might be worth a shot. Yeah, I mean, if Hardaway's out too, and Luka is out, I mean, it's definitely a potential for somebody on that wing to play. But they're also low floor wing plays. Like I'd rather just play the guys I know will, have some production there. Where else are you going at center here, sir?
I mean, if Embiid plays, would you play Embiid? If there's no max,
I don't think so, because his last two
would you
games
play
against
Embiid?
Boston, he hasn't really paid off its price tag there. It was like 55 and 45, I think. So
I feel like if there's no Tyrese Maxey though, and I get it because the way that offense works, Maxey is obviously a massive part of it, and like the amount of threes that Embiid kicks out to could be something. Dude, like, so Joel Embiid this year, okay, 74 minutes without Oubre and Maxey, has a 40% usage rate. I don't think that's very surprising, and averages 1.8 fantasy points per minute.
Yeah,
it's a tough matchup, but like it's savings off Jokic. He's going to be next to no ownership because it's a tough matchup against Boston. But if he has a team to himself, like that's hard to like just ignore at least. So
sure.
Just throwing that out there. Would you prefer Durant over Jokic if Murray, Gordon are back? I mean, I prefer Durant anyway tonight. With the team to himself, Sean. But like
Yeah.
Jokic is the like a clear pivot away from Durant. Durant is a very popular play tonight.
I mean, it costs you a lot more money, obviously. So like you have
Yeah.
to make more than one adjustment to get to that move. But I mean,
I think the value on tonight, like just with Dallas in general, makes it a lot easier to get to Jokic if you wanted to. I also don't mind paying the price of Jokic even if those guys are in, because one will only lower his ownership. It's not like we didn't see 70 right off the bat from Jokic with everyone healthy. It's not like we
right.
didn't see 80 with these guys healthy earlier in the year. Like he's still the best fantasy producer in the sport with everyone there. So Aaron Gordon takes such a back seat in when all four of them are healthy. Murray is also limited. He only played low 20s minutes last game. Like if I fit Jokic, yeah, I mean it's definitely the Jokic Curry pairing is not like comfortable because you're probably playing Josh Green. You're playing 1 to 3 of Green, Hardy, Jones, Grant.
Yep.
Williams.
I just updated the ownership on our site too. You can see Hardy's 55, Josh Green's 52, Irving's 40. So, it's where everybody's getting to.
Yeah, and that like just seeing the Jokic Kyrie build is like it's clear you're just playing that Hardy, Green,
Yep. Jones.
Jones.
Probably.
Yeah, you're probably playing all three of those
Maybe
guys.
Jalen Noel. I don't know. Like
Yeah. Oh, shout out the former bucket who's went over 6 last.
Over 6. Yeah. Got rusty. All right. So other mid-tier plays here. Nurkic, Valanciunas, Collins. Any interest there?
Yes, I like Nurkic. Wrote him up today. 1.28 fantasy points per minute this year without Beal and Booker. The kicker for me was with Kevin Durant. He's played. It was 222 minute sample without Beal and Booker. 184 of those minutes have come with Kevin Durant. 1.25 fantasy points per minute. And we kind of pointed it out on the show last night. He's had really good performances lately. And the first thing you said after I said Nurkic's name was the minutes have been 30, 33, 33, 29, 35 in 5 of his last 6 games. He had the one stinker against Golden State. Every once in a while it happens. But the minutes have been great for Nurkic lately, and now he is the clear second fiddle on this team. So I'm definitely down to get to Nurkic in tournaments. It's not, you gotta, your risk aversion will depend on, like, the getting to Nurkic will depend on your risk aversion, because
Right.
he might have 2 fouls when the ball is tipped. He might just foul Jokic twice, and they're just like, all right, go sit on the bench. But like sometimes scared money don't make money, bro. Like
Sure.
he might not get in foul trouble. He might put Jokic in foul. Like you don't like it's completely random. So I like Nurkic in tournaments, and if you're scared away because of foul trouble, I would totally understand.
Okay. Collins with no Wemby or no?
It's all San Francisco, San Antonio in a bucket. If you think that game stays competitive, yeah.
He's playing the minutes, which is great. The rebounds have been great. The points haven't really been there, but 1.3 fantasy points per minute without Randall. If Randall gets ruled out, where does a $5,700 Mitch Rob rank for you?
Pretty good. I like the 1.3. It makes sense, but also I'm just trying to see a world where like anybody coming off the floor means more shots for Mitchell Robinson, because it's never meant more shots. Like nothing has ever meant more shots for Mitchell Robinson, right? Like his agent going out there saying like this guy doesn't shoot the ball, or they don't set him up for offensive shot. Nothing that ever happens, I feel like, gets Mitchell Robinson more shots. It's interesting. I prefer Derek Lively 4,900.
Okay.
I would probably prefer Paul Reed if there's no Embiid at 4,700, just given that even when Paul Reed is the third center apparently on a team, as my son knocks on the door right now. Sorry, I'm getting visitors here.
All right, what does Orion think about the center position tonight?
Orion, what do you think of the center position tonight? He ran away. He's being yelled at by his mom. So it's good. It's good. Everything's going swimmingly.
He probably said something about Hartenstein. I don't know.
Oh no.
John Isaac here at 4K. Just throwing him out there. All right. Any other plays here for you?
I thought we were just gonna say John Isaac, and you weren't gonna like. You're just gonna be like, all right, time to build a lineup. Like nothing else here. Like that's definitely final word. Just John Isaac. Definitely play John Isaac. I would say slight interest on a dart at Charles Bassey if you think that game blows out. Complete blowout scenario. We saw. I think you and I were like, oh, someone played Charles Bassey and won like 100K, or they won the single entry. I think the Clippers slate where Charles Bassey played 18 minutes for 28 fantasy points. So slight hat tip to Charles Bassey for large field tournaments.
Well, we got everybody in here again. Shout out to all you tuning in. If you could throw a like to us here on today's show, it would be super helpful. And also, if you haven't already, well, that's the wrong link. That's the link to our show, not the link to the listener league. Let's hit the link to the listener league going here, James.
Yeah, I got that.
Link to the listener league. There it is. I got the link to the listener league here.
Okay.
Listener league link. There we go. If you want to join our $5 listener league here today, there's the link. If we get at least 25 people in there, we'll give a Fantasy Alarm hat to the winner.
Yep.
So make sure you're following us on Twitter so you can DM us when you win tonight's league and get that Fantasy Alarm hat. It's a $5 entry fee to tonight's listener league. We don't make any money off this league. We run this league for you guys to have some fun with us on Fridays, for tuning in, supporting the content that we do over at Fantasy Alarm. And tonight we're adding in a gift. If anybody gets to 25 entries, we will give out a free Fantasy Alarm hat to the winner of tonight's contest. So again, join tonight's DraftKings Listener League. Like the show, subscribe to the channel. We go live every day at 5 o'clock Eastern time. Any final thoughts here, James, before we start building a lineup for everybody?
We also have the preview show in the morning.
Preview shows in the morning. That is true. Next week, we'll be live on Wednesdays and Fridays for the two big slates. We'll have the preview show in the morning for the in-season tournament games. Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday are just 2-game slates on next week. So we'll only have the preview show, but we'll be live Wednesday and Friday for the full days slates there as well. All right. I got Kyrie already plugged in. What's your next move?
Kevin Durant.
Durant. Okay.
Yeah, I would probably play Kevin Durant. That's kind of what I've built with tonight. Kyrie, Durant, and then the
Hardy, I
Dallas.
imagine.
Yeah, the Dallas value.
Green.
Yeah, I'm playing Green. Some D Rose love.
Rose. Okay, what's your center?
What do you want to do at center? Were you saying the Durant thing because you wanted to play Jokic?
I did want to play Jokic.
Okay, then let's build with Jokic. I want to build. I'd like to build with Jokic anyway. So,
$5,400 power forward here.
I would love to get one expensive power forward, but I don't think it's possible. Like for forward, Grayson Allen.
We're already playing 3 Dallas guys, so it gets a little difficult there.
Roddy, 47, if you wanted to play him.
Yeah, that's Grayson's fine.
Grayson forward spot, 56.
We'll do Green to the power forward since he fits there, and then we'll do Grayson to the small forward.
Sure.
56.50 for forward and a util. Let's see, was there a cheaper util down play down here? Yeah, another slate where there's not like a Gallinari. He says, I don't want to do it. Who's playing for San Antonio? Do you think? I mean,
Champagne's going to start, I think, but I'm not in on the 4,900 tag personally. I'd rather
Jordan Goodwin.
Yeah, I'd be okay with Jordan Goodwin. I told you I'm taking a stand on Goodwin tonight.
I guess it's a $6,500 forward play. Could be RJ, or Hardaway. Go another Dallas player.
I'd be okay with going Dallas. I mean, they don't have Luka. They don't have Exum. They might. I mean,
stack for Dallas tonight.
Let's ride. I mean, the thing about that is too.
We have $1,000 left over with that play anyway, so that'd be a lot of money.
We could go from. Go Hardaway over Grayson in that case.
If we went back to Durant, gives a 9K center, which would be Randall or Jackson, I guess, on the comeback there.
So gives still 1,000
to play with. What's a 61 small forward?
You could put Green.
Oh, that place.
Okay, yeah, perfect.
Upgrade Green or upgrade. Tim Hardaway just ruled out. Never mind. Back off.
There is Dallas This is why for Dallas is viable.
I guess we got Jones here then, right?
Well, little Daniel Jones Jr. or what?
Yeah, Daniel Jones Jr. We're right back to where we wanted to not be. Let's see, Durant off $7,600 forward.
Oh, we're so close to Jaren Jackson.
Dude. And Franz, so close to Franz. Sure. Michael Porter. We'll run that. $200 left over. Porter, Jokic, Rose, Goodwin for Dallas. Irving, Hardy, Jones, and Green. It's an example lineup. We're out here for the people.
It is.
Cracker Jack says he already donated to the listener league. Well, we appreciate that.
Well, no. Cracker
Jack win last week.
Yeah, This is a very humble. That's a very humble. A little humble pie in the chat right there because
he won recently. So
everybody get in the listener league. 12 more entries, and I'm buying somebody a hat.
I'm not even in the listener league yet. I guess I have to add to that entry total. So
there's 42 people in here.
Yeah, I know.
I'm buying somebody a hat.
If we have 42 people watching this, I don't know how we have 42 people in tonight's listener league personally.
Every Friday, Mark, save up that. You need to save up those $5 for the end of the week.
Yeah, Mark's taking down hockey slates. We'll join the $5 listener league. I mean, what are we doing?
Every Friday.
Yeah, if there's 42 people watching this as it shows, there should be 42 people in our $5 listener league. Here.
Agreed.
The winner we're going to give a hat to, and you also win the prize. We get no money from this. We're not getting any rake. DraftKings isn't paying us for this. We literally create the contest. We're also throwing $5 in the pot. And you guys all have on there. The Prince says he only has 4. Well, go win and then play next week or deposit $1. I don't know. Yeah. What do your crowns look like? Can you redeem your crowns?
Ooh, true. Good
play. Julius Randle will try to play. What does that mean?
That he will go out there, take the tip, and then
go check to see if you have any crown redemption there to print. You can get $1 out of that and maybe enter tonight's.
So here's the quote from Ian Begley,
Okay.
Knicks beat reporter. This is a interesting one. Julius Randle's right knee is tender, but the current plan is that he is going to give it a go versus Toronto, per sources. The All-Star is listed as questionable for tonight due to right knee inflammation. So his right knee is tender. Tender. If you watch Rocket Power, you knew what I just did.
All right. On that note, everybody, enjoy your Friday. Get in our listener league contest here for this evening. We'll be back Monday morning for the 2-game preview show, but no live show Monday, no live show Tuesday. We'll be live Wednesday and Friday at 5 o'clock Eastern time next week. If you do miss us, though, you can find us across the station during the week during football shows, and we have the Better Sports Show as well on the evening time. But for now, everybody, good luck tonight. Have a good weekend, and we'll catch you later.